program is designed to educate, inform, and to let you know how governments, state and local, impact our lives. This program is sponsored by our Black Media Network, Mr. Julius Hall, our president and CEO of this operation. I just want to start tonight. Now, hopefully, I'll be having a few of our candidates who will be in the election for next Tuesday coming, and they're on the way. They're a little late. In the meantime, I will try to talk about some of the issues that are really affecting this country today. As you know, many of us who do keep up with what's going on in the world, and unfortunately, I must say, and I hate to say, so many people do not know what's going on. You see things on television a lot of times, but you don't quite understand the meaning of what's going on. Now, you know, we have two wars going on right now. One, and when Russia invaded the country, and the other one is in the Middle East. I want to take just a moment to say something about the Middle East. The country Israel. The country Israel. The Jewish people have suffered many, many years of hardship, bigotry, slavery. You know, they were in slavery for 400 years in Egypt until God, with Moses, brought them out with his mighty hand. And from then on, these people have been chosen by God as his chosen people. Now, a lot of folk go and say, I don't know Jews this, no Jews that. Jews got this, Jews got this. But let me say something. The biggest problem is people do not understand this book right here. This book right here, the Word of God. Some people never pick it up and read it. You never pick it up. You don't read it. You do these things. A lot of times we be doing these things, and we're doing these things contrary to the principles and the Word of God. Now, let me say something to you about back to the Middle East. Many, many years ago, the British used to be in charge of the whole area. And the Jewish people, they had no land. So in 1948, first place to go back in the history, God scattered them over the world because of their disobedience for years and years and years and years. But he said in his word that he would bring them right back to the land. Now, what land are you talking about, Grover? Talking about the land when Moses led them out of Egypt, led them to the point where when Moses died and was taken from the world, and Joshua took over, Joshua took them into the promised land, the land we're talking about right now. So when I say that, let me back up with this with the Word of God. Now you just listen. Here's what the Word of God says. In the same day, the Lord made a covenant. God made a covenant with Abram, that was Abraham, saying, unto thy seed, unto that seed, just like I have children, they'll have children, their other ones have children, unto their seeds, unto this day. As they multiplied and had generations of Jewish children, unto your seed will I give this land, from the river of Egypt unto the great river of the river Euphrates. Now, who the Bible said to give that land to? They give that land to the Jewish people. Now, Palestine, these people were there when the British left these people there when they controlled all that land. But Palestine is not a nation. You know, a country named no Palestine. Those people are just in Palestine. You had a terrible leader, he's dead now, Arafat. He did a lot of trouble for the Jewish people, war after war. But let me show you now how generous the people are as the Jewish people. In 1968, they attacked Israel with a war. There was a general named Moshe Dayan. He's deceased now. But he had already worked out a plan in the event that Israel was attacked. And ladies and gentlemen, when Israel was attacked in 6 or 7 year war, he had his battle plans all set in place, that they captured Syria, they captured Jordan, they captured Egypt, and they captured Lebanon. All those 4 countries who had wanted to destroy Israel since they were started in 1948. The United Nations voted to give them their land. Now, when they had the first scrimmage, Ralph Bunche, a black man, I want y'all to understand this. A white man want you to know about our history. That's why we got to read, we got to listen when people try to talk about our history. The average child does not know anything about Ralph Bunche. He was a black man. He worked for the United Nations. He was chosen and delegated by the United Nations to go to Israel to try to bring peace between Israel and the same people they're fighting today, as I speak to you. So he brought peace. They signed a peace agreement. Then it went on for a while. And he had to sign all of them again. And they always attacked these people. So in 67, as I said, they captured all 4 of those countries. But you know what they did, ladies and gentlemen? They gave all the land back to them. No country gives the victims spoils, keep everything. But they give them all their land back, except an area called the Golden Heights, which is high in the mountains, like, and the way they're fighting right now in Gaza. But they kept a part of the Gaza and give the rest of it to those people. Now, the people, it's sad that all these people are being killed. Look what they did. They did a surprise attack when all these Jewish young men and women were at a concert or talking about peace. They attacked them. They shot, killed over 200 little children. And they shot the girls in the legs where they have to fall out on the ground, and they raped them. We wouldn't want that to happen to our children. We don't want to happen that to anybody. They do not want any peace. Let me say this to you. President Jimmy Carter met with the Arafat and the people from the other group, the Hamas and the Hezbollah, and they agreed on the peace agreement. That didn't last long. They started another war. After that, then you had President Bill Clinton met with them. They signed a peace agreement. Let's get along. Don't have any vicious attacks against us. We were not against you. But Iran is the person behind that. Iran has said the main objective is to wipe the Jewish race off the face of the earth. How can that be? When I just read you what Almighty God, the creator of the universe, said. And what the same book says this: God will bless the country that supports Israel. That's why the United States, with all the dirt they've done to black people, all the dirt they're doing now to the Jewish people, all the dirt they've done to the people of different color, this country has a terrible reputation. I don't care what nobody says. This is the evil country. They've done a lot of this. Look what they did to white people. Look what they're trying to do right now. Look at Florida. Know what they want to do. They want to whitewash history. Don't want our black children or white children know anything about history, like America's always been a good country. America has not always been a good country, and not as good now. Look what they did in Alabama. They defied the Supreme Court. They have 7 districts, and black folk in Alabama, they only have 1. And they don't want to give up another one so we can have ability to select a person to represent us in the House of Representatives. They don't want that to happen. So don't tell me nothing about America being no good country and living in justice for all. That had never been for us. So that's the problem with what's going on in this war right now. And unfortunately, and they lied and said that the Jewish people took a missile and hit that hospital and killed over 500 people. And that was a lie. That was another militant group that was against Israel. And they shot a rocket, and the rocket misfired. And that's what happened. It didn't function. And it exploded right by the hospital and killed all those people. It's unfortunate. Now, I got to go with the president of Israel. They're tired of this. They're tired of, we will have peace for a while, and then all while, you had to come back again. You'll never have a permanent peace until they wipe out that Hamas. Unfortunate people go down. War always bring death. Look at the Civil War. 3 days of Civil War around Gettysburg. 3 days. 51,000 men died in 3 days. Wounded or died in 3 days. Because they want to keep me and you and our generation slaves. God wasn't going to put up with this. What kind of God he'll be if he allows us to always be slavery? He'll let everybody suffer. And when you look upon him, then he deliver you. And I want y'all to know right now, when y'all hear all this mess on the TV, here's the word of God right here. And I'm going to tell y'all something else. People get mad with me coming around, but I'm going to tell y'all about this homosexual business too. I'm going to tell you what this book right here said about it. About a man and a woman. If you get mad with God, get mad at me, don't get mad with me. You get mad with God, he the one get the inspiration for this word. I'm just telling you what it says. And people do what they want to do. And I'm hoping that Israel will be able to stamp out these people. But that's terrible what they're doing. They don't want these people to exist. Now they're trying to start this in America. Look at the universities. They're picking on the Jewish students. Look what somebody did. Stabbed a little 6-year-old Muslim boy. 6 years old, that's a baby. Stabbed him to death. So that's a condition that we have today, and we will have to do something about it. And I thought I would let y'all know what's going on with this war. And we got Ukraine going on with that war with Russia, invaded that country. So those are two wars we got going on. And some countries of Africa, they having rebellion. Political parties are having rebellion. So it's hell going on all over the world. And you got the people in America hungry. You got the Republicans, the Magna group of Republicans, want to cut Social Security, want to cut Medicare. And ever since President Truman in 1952, when he was president, he took over after the assassination. He took over the country in 1952 after President Eisenhower succeeded him. And when he sent his message to Congress, one of the planks in that message was he wanted to have a national health insurance that every Western country of the world had met a national health insurance for their citizens, except America, the greatest and powerful country in the world. And who got it? President Barack Obama was able to get national health insurance. And the Republicans don't like that. They want to cut Medicare. They want to cut Medicaid to the poor people. Some show you what even Georgia was one of them too. I don't think we got to that point yet. The federal government was going to take care of all the expense for Medicaid for 3 years, and then the states would take it over. They didn't want to do that because they'll have to pick up the bill, the tab. But they're taxing people. They're overtaxing people. But the rich folk always get all the benefits. And that's what that needs to happen, is to stop. How does that happen? We have to put people in power that will listen to those people who are unprivileged, like most of the black people and other minorities people are. There's no need for nobody in the richest country of the world for children to go to bed hungry in America. But children do go to bed hungry in America. They do, and that's a shame. We have this article, this paper I was reading right here. World War shortage in food. We have so many children to go into bed and hungry in this world. It's unbelievable. I give no bragging on my part, but I give money to 3 organizations that feed children every month. Every month. If you want me to do it the next time I have a meeting, I'll hold up my American Test statement and have it draw the line up on it. I give money to the UNICEF, that's feeding the children. Give money to feed the children. Give money to save the children. I give $25 a month to feed the people right here in Savannah, Meals on Wheels. Just call the city sister, ask Miss Patty, do I do it? People are hungry in this country. People standing on the corner and begging now. I do give money for people begging, holding up hands on it. The lady told me they can do it as long as they are not blocking traffic. But I went to the store the other day, the young white fellows outside, and I used to start giving $2 or $3, but he went in his pocket and took out a pack of cigarettes, and I said, I ain't gonna give him out a dime because I can't support this habit. And he's out there asking people money, and he liked the cigarette. Nobody gave him to him, had to buy them. So you give him money, he go in and buy cigarettes. We can't support this habit. But we have all these problems that we have in this country, and we're gonna have to deal with them. Now we're coming up with a very, very, very important election in 24. And everybody know about this man, Donald J. Trump. And everybody's turning on him now. Well, like the old saying goes, and Dr. King said this in one of his speeches, truth crushed to the ground will rise again. And they all say another saying was, the truth will out. Now they're turning on Mr. Trump. Or this mess in Georgia, where they call that man and told that man to find him 780,000 votes, whatever it is, so he could overturn Georgia, because Georgia went for Democrats instead of Republicans. And they all lied. And a lot of them turn they're going to be electors. Those are the people that count the ballots and cast the ballots and send them to the vice president of the United States to certify the election. A lot of them put their names in and they were the elections, they're in trouble. All of them, and I was surprised to see that the black man and the black woman caught up in that. All of them going to be tried. Many of them going to be fined and some of them going to jail. That's where it ought to be. Now, Mr. Trump has had a gag order put on him. He's calling people all kinds of names and saying what he wants to say. And that black lady in Washington, that federal judge, she has a funny name, then now you know what I'm talking about. Miss something like Trumpets, whatever her name is. She put a gag order on him, and she turned around and released the gag order. And now they took it to appellate court, and the court had temporarily allowed him to go say anything he wanted to say. I can't understand how this country allowed a man like this to do with the things he's done, caused the insurrection. People lost their lives. Some of the police officers was killed, beaten to death. So one or two of them committed suicide. Millions of people, thousands of people coming on you like this. That's what happened at insurrection. And then some of the men in the Congress saying, oh, that was on the tour. That was just like a normal day tour. That's a lie. They were trying to overturn the U.S. government. That's what Trump was trying to do. And mark my word, I may be in my grave, but you mark my word. It's going to come out that they sat and met and decided if you lost the election, we're going to say that it was stolen. And that was the lie that went on. Sort of remind me when Christ was risen from the dead. And he went to his disciples. And word got out that he was risen. And they paid the soldiers the lie to say that while they slept, his disciples came and stole his body. And that lie has been in operation to the day that the Jews believe it today. And one or two Jewish people, now many of them are coming over to Christ. You see this man on television, Rabbi Schreiber. He's a Jew. But he talks about Christ, that Christ came to the Jews. That's God sent him to the Jewish people first. It was the Apostle Paul that brought us into Christ, into the Gentiles. That's what we were. We were the Gentiles. And I tell you the truth, that we had that lie still going on since centuries. So we're really in a messed up world all the way around. And now we have this down. Look what happened the other day in Maine. All that killing. You go to bowling alley, you don't know when the fool will come in and start shooting. They're in a bar, you don't know when the fool will come in and start shooting. They will not pass a weapon reform. Well, I see one of our guests is coming on board right now, and I hope she's ready to participate in this discussion, what we're here for tonight. But I wanted to really inform you all. I'm really glad I had an opportunity to speak on what's happening right now about the world. And now we're going to talk about what's going on where we live in Savannah, Georgia, with this election coming up here, coming Tuesday. And my view is simply this. I'm not running for office. I ran one time and didn't win. I don't knock anybody, but I lost a man that never did anything in this community. It looked like we got this thing coming at the same time. Somebody never done anything trying to win an office. But now dude got somebody that's been in here, and I'm going to interview her first and let her speak to the audience. How are you this afternoon, Ms. Keisha?
Hello, Mr. Thornton. Hello, Savannah. Hello, our Black media. It's good to be here with you all tonight.
And I'm happy.
Busy
Go ahead,
day.
I'm sorry.
It has been a busy day on our path to victory. We are checking all of those necessary boxes and just continuing to do whatever it is, do what it is that we do best. And that's the lives of people.
Ms. Keisha, let me say this to you. I'm so glad to see you. I hope a lot of people are listening to my show, but I do know the word is going around. My son and I went to the grocery store yesterday, and a young man spoke to me, tall young man, house with glasses, and he said, "How you, Mr. Thornton?" I can't remember everybody, you know. He was so younger than I was that time. And I said, "Oh, fine, how are you?" And I asked him, I said, now let me ask you a question. He told me his name was, I think it was Cooper. And I asked him, was he going to vote? He said, yes, sir, I'm going to vote. And I said, I don't endorse anybody to vote, but since I'm on my show, but sometimes I'm just talking to him like I'm talking to you. I'm just straight myself. That's why I named my show Straight Talk. I'll put no punches. You like me, fine. If you don't, I'm going to try to do what's right. And I'm a race man. I'm going to tell you that from the beginning. I'm a race man from when I put my life on the line in the 1960s, lying down on Bay Street by that City Hall in the street.
Wow.
All these sit-ins. Y'all just don't know what we went through during the 60s. People didn't arbitrarily give you the right to sit to a counter. We had to demand that. The oppressor never gives you anything. The oppressor will have to fight and demand what you want to get. So I spoke to a young man the other day, and I said, now what I want you to do, son, I want you to be a voter. He said, but son, I'm already a voter. I said, oh, fine, you vote next Tuesday, then I hope. I said, I don't get in your business about who you're voting for. He said, these are what he said now. I'm going to tell you like it is. He said, one thing I know, I'm voting for two people, two women. I said, a lot of women are running. What two women you talking about? He said, I'm voting for this lady named Keisha for mayor, and I'm voting for this other lady named Alicia for that post too. I said, both of those are fine women. Both of them done a good job as far as I'm concerned. And you know what that man said to me? He said, well, I hope every black man realize, I'm just quoting what he said, that our present mayor is buying the white people and not the black people. And he said the words, hold on, one of these things right here. And that's proof is in the pudding. You know what he always said, the proof is in the pudding. So he said, well, I think this lady will do a great job. That's what he said to me. And then, of course, I said, well, I hope you will go ahead and vote your conviction on what you believe. But I want to say, I just thought I'd say that to you since you was on this show, because I do realize a lot of, when you was on the show last month, the reason why I moved the show up to the first Saturday because of the election. Otherwise, my show would be on Saturday coming. But I wanted the public to get the last words from you, Alicia. And I think Mr. Brian's supposed to be here, and let them tell you what you need to hear from them. So, Ms. Keisha, if you want to tell us some more things, you were very effective from several calls I got when you was on the show last month. Particularly the mother of my church. She said she couldn't believe all the things that you were saying went on in city government. Now, if you can remember, I kept telling y'all the people did not know. Did I not say that?
Yes, sir.
Many times. So I'm gonna leave the show for you to tell us a reason why you want the people to vote for you. And I hope Alicia comes in here, because I gave the show to y'all tonight, basically. So just give us some points, maybe like you did the last meeting, some things that go down in City Hall that we are not aware of, that we should know what's going on, or what we know during the administration. So you open the house, baby. Go ahead.
Well, thank you, Mr. Thornton, for sharing your platform and reserving this special time as we approach Election Day. I want to first respond to something you said with regard to the gentleman you connected with in terms of him acknowledging that the current mayor is not doing anything or doing everything for white people. Well, I submit to you that there are white people that the mayor is not doing anything for either. The fact of the matter is marginalized Black and white working class people have been left out and left behind in this administration. And so to answer your question, less than me wanting to be mayor, it is the need for the city to have a mayor that cares. I just happen to be the most qualified candidate in the race for mayor at this time. And so as I charted my course in 2019, when I declared my candidacy for Alderwoman at Large for post 1 of the city of Savannah, I got up with no political experience, bringing with me my blended experience in serving the community, from working with seniors who were nutrition insecure to youth who were vulnerable and members of gangs, working with the homeless population where I served homeless families with children for 10 years, working with neighborhood mobilization and community organization, as well as working for victims of domestic violence, sexual violence, and child molestation. And so with that blended experience, I saw where I was well suited for local government, not politics. I'm a public servant. I'm not a politician. And so what I brought to City Hall was, along with the mandate I received in 2019, where the entire council, the electorate voted an entire council out and ushered a new council in. And with that mandate, the message was no more business as usual, no more backdoor politics, no more investing in things, brick and mortar. But in short order, they wanted more resources into the neighborhoods, and they wanted the investment of the coffers of the city of Savannah to be geared toward flesh and blood, things that people could touch and feel. And in short order, I take that passion with me to City Hall. And the passion I took to City Hall was not what I learned in textbooks at Fort Valley State or Savannah State Universities, but in fact, it came from my own personal experiences growing up here in Savannah, as well as my experience as an executive leader in this city and a frontline worker. And so when I'm making decisions from the desk of the dais at City Hall in our chambers, I'm working from a place of passion based on the work that I've done. And I could not, after 25 years of doing that work, reacting to the worst hurt that citizens of this city face, I had to work now proactively. I was excited to work proactively, I should say, recognizing that I had the ability, garnering the most votes in 2019, only second to Alderwoman Alicia Miller Blakely. That was a strong mandate. That was a strong message from the electorate that said, no more business as usual, no more everyday politics, but they wanted us to do differently and to divert resources in a manner that had never been allocated before. And so we were met with a challenge whereby that goal was squashed by a rule change or an additional rule to the pre-existing charter, as well as the pre-existing rules of council, which consist of a process whereby it now takes 5 members of council to present for discussion, to present for consideration, or to present for ultimate adoption, legislation, an idea, an ordinance, or the voice of the people. It takes 5 members of council to get that to see the light of day. And we recognize that as a game. We recognize that as a strategy, because if citizens of Savannah were allowed to see what it is myself, Alderwoman Blakely, and Lanier were really working to push forward, things that are related to really reducing crime in our community, really reducing poverty and homelessness, providing increased services for recreation for our senior citizens. If people were to see policies associated with those goals and see that it's voted down by the majority, then you would actually see what the fuss is really about. But right now, our citizens have been misled and they are continually confused because people can't see what we're working on. But you have this administration who has the voice of the media, who is motivated to spew messaging that's not consistent with really highlighting and featuring our advocacy efforts on council. And so that's essentially where a lot of the confusion and frustration is birthed out of. And so as we go forth in this election season, we want our citizens to know that we should not relegate relationship, friendship, and kinship to harmony in our community and to our public safety and security. This election should not be about who we are aligned with. but it should be about the change that we want to see in our community. So I asked the question, what has changed between this administration and the last administration? If people can't see things for what they are, I ask personally that you vote to keep what you have. But if you recognize that the changes are consistent with, we have more crime, or higher crime, I should say, we have higher rates of poverty, higher rates of forced displacement, we have higher deficiencies in almost every area. Crime, poverty, homelessness, forced displacement. The only thing that is low is morale. Your taxes are even higher this administration than in the previous administration. So this is not rhetoric. These are facts. This is a factual assessment. The only difference between this administration and the administration that the citizens voted out is higher crime, higher poverty, higher rates of forced displacement, higher episodes of homelessness in our community, and higher taxes. And so if you want to experience something different, we are asking our citizens of Savannah to step out on success and watch us work in a way in which we are serving this city from a citizen-led, policy-driven perspective, meaning we are first going to listen to residents, listen to citizens of Savannah. We're going to listen to individuals within our neighborhood associations. We are going to take what we listen to back to City Hall, and you can't be citizen-led unless you can touch the people, right? So as mayor, we will equip, encourage, and provide every resource to each district representative so that they are successfully serving their citizens. Once we gather that information, as we have made ourselves accessible, expanding our political experience under the Gold Dome into the homes of citizens, we will now match what their needs are with the bearing capacity of our city staff who's charged with carrying out those needs. Once that is assessed, we now have to match that with the bearing capacity of the coffers of the city of Savannah. And that's the part I'm really excited about. I'm really excited about driving resources and saying yes to the citizens of Savannah as opposed to no. And so that's our first goal. Our first goal is for citizens to hear a response from City Hall that's consistent with yes. Yes. Yes will be the order of the day. Yes will be the theme of this administration. And so we want to invite citizens into City Hall. Right now, the doors of City Hall are locked. They're locked 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Monday through Friday, from 8 to 5, the doors of City Hall are locked. If you go there right now, those doors are locked. Now, the benefit and the beauty of where we are now is when I announced that I was going to run over a year ago, and as I charted my course on the campaign trail, I said to Savannah, and someone has it recorded, that the mere fact that I acknowledged that I was running for office a year early already made me a winner because I was winning for Savannah. Because that was going to be pressure. It was going to be pressure on this current administration and mayor to do moderately right. So that's why, but unfortunately, that moderately right has come in the form of street namings to get people excited. And so we want Savannah to know that you deserve more. You deserve to have streets named, but we can do better. So we want to stop manipulating the people with peanuts, right? We want to stop manipulating our people with peanuts and bring them into the fold and make them whole. Because right now, we see that our citizens have been gaslit. So we want to close out Mr. Thornton, I see you have another guest coming in, and I simply want to say to Savannah, you've been locked out of City Hall, and your resources have been locked up. Keisha is the key to making all of the resources that a citizen deserves available to them. We are going to, at every single level, crime, poverty, homelessness, forced displacement, gentrification, your tax dollars, wasteful spending, you are going to see a difference. Not only will you see a difference, you're going to feel a difference immediately when we take office with this new administration. And it will be in a way in which Savannah has never demonstrated before. So we want our citizens to recognize that this by far is the most important election in the history of Savannah. In 2019, we said that we were not coming to play the game, but we were coming to change the game. The changes have now occurred in real time. You've seen it play out. For the first time in the history of Savannah, we have more money poured into and pumped into these campaigns than ever before. This current mayor has more money than every candidate combined in this race as well as the previous race. What I want to demonstrate and what I want Savannah to help me do is put Savannah on the map in a way that shows the world that Savannah is not for sale and we're not on the take. We're smarter than the tricks. We're bigger than the endorsements, and we're more than the money. Our people can no longer be manipulated. No more can you tell citizens what you think they want to hear and react. I need more than a compliment. I need to know that you did more than play the piano at my mama's church. I need to know that somebody was more than just my daddy's principal. Relationship, friendship, and kinship, when it comes to our harmony and community and when our public safety, we don't have any allegiance or alliance there. We must take our city back.
Very good. Well, I'm glad you came on the show.
Yes, sir.
Let me ask you two questions. First question I want to ask you was, I don't know whether this is authentic or not. You would have to tell me that some money was sent down to the city. I guess it goes to a certain department in the state, then it filters down to the city. But anyway, that this money came down, and it was for 50 businesses,
Mm-hmm.
and only one black business got the money. What was the problem with the information? First, was that a true statement? Secondly, was the information dispersed with other black businesses could apply for the money? But what I heard, that they knew nothing about it. You know anything about that? Is that any value to that?
Yes, sir. So you're speaking of the CARES Act funds that were released at the top of the COVID crises here in our country. And those funds were released to various municipalities across the nation. Savannah was one of them. And so the unfortunate occurrence was that money was released to our local SBA, who was charged by this administration to disseminate those dollars. And with little oversight, we learned that there would be an open portal for local businesses to make application for those funds up to $50,000. And so we started getting calls from citizens of Savannah stating that when they went to apply, the portal was either closed, inaccessible, or they were told that there were no more funds available. So this was alarming to us because this was within 48 hours of the opening. And so that issue led to us delving a little deeper, and we requested the allocation list of businesses who actually receive funding, because no one around within our social network, professional network of all walks of life, we couldn't find people who had actually received those funds. And so we looked at the list and did a survey of the list, and learned that, and I think we asked for some demographic information on the recipients of said dollars. And on the list was only one African American, one Jamaican business out of all of the businesses that received funding. And the piece that was more problematic was that 90+% of those businesses were in the downtown corridors of our city. And further insult to injury was that the funds were applied to pre-existing loans that the businesses already had on the books of our local SBA. So it was an unfair advantage. And so that's consistent with a lot of the a lot of the examples of how this administration further hinders our ability to demonstrate that we are an inclusive government and that we are unbiased. So that's just one of the examples. Another example is the fact that we have over 600 alcohol and liquor serving establishments who have license or permits from the city of Savannah. That permit for restaurants provide them an opportunity to increase their revenue by up to 40% or more. And we noticed a theme as we were sitting on council that for every African American business that was presented, they were consistently denied. And so again, we delved a little deeper and looked into the practices of how these permits were being given to business owners. And we saw that of about 600, less than 7 of them, of over 600 alcohol and liquor serving establishments in this city, only 7 of them, or less than 7 of them, are actually permitted for African American business owners. And so problematic. And so when we talk about equity, when we talk about inclusion in this city, the government of Savannah has to be the example and be the standard for all others to follow. And so when you have those type of culturally entrenched practices happening in government, we perpetuate a divide. And so as Savannah's leader, we first will adopt policies and practices that are consistent with showing our city that we are inclusive. And that goes for women-owned businesses as well.
Well, I like to say this, that to me, that's totally discriminatory. And these businesses, evidently a lot of them don't know how to apply for the money. The money has not been really advertised. So that's discriminatory. Now, you just told me about this community, 2 things that's happening should have been known to the community. See, one of the problems, I'm going to say this up front, one of the problems you all have down in that city government, you all do not work together. I had to commend you all for one thing, and that was you all voted to remove that white man off that square. That was a cemetery where black people are buried, and those that did it in the past was terrible. Now, I don't know whether this is so or not, but I understood, is this true? When I ask you a question, I expect the truth, and y'all pan out the truth. You said that last time you was on my show, that the mayor wanted to leave a marker that this square was once named after George Calhoun. You never mentioned that man's name. That man said slavery was a good thing for Negroes. And how y'all can have these licenses only going to white people, everything going down to the downtown. That tells me that you only care about white folk downtown with businesses. You care nothing about the low class people in the community. Some streets understood that some places have never been paved here in Chatham County. Is that so?
Well, that's an example of when I say the decisions we make as leaders make us appear to be discriminatory, or it makes us appear to have those to exhibit those practices that are consistent with bias and racism even.
It sure is.
And so what we want to do is we want to make certain that we are not continuing to perpetuate a divide in our community.
Sure don't.
Because there are several people who are living in this city and who have hearts that are far opposite of what we experience by way of some of the city of Savannah policies. And we don't want people to feel frustrated and aggravated as if they are a part of it just because they are white. So we do not want to put the onus on all of Savannahans. The onus is on the leadership. The onus is on the leadership of this local government to make decisions that are consistent with inclusion and equity and not the opposite. It goes back to an example of perpetuating the divide is when you make a decision to host St. Patrick's Day, but you decide not to host Martin Luther King holiday, right?
I need
And
to bring on.
so what I want to say, because it's not, we are not going to usher in those pieces that are of high sensitive nature. We are going to make certain that we are handling them in a way that is not signaling divisive messages. We have to make decisions and make very certain that not only the appearance is, we have to go beyond what the appearance of things look like, because I think that's what this administration has got caught up in a lot in terms of how things look. We want to focus on the hopeful spirit of our community, but we also want to drill down to the nuts and bolts, because at the end of the day, you cannot like somebody. We're going to have those judgments and not like somebody for some reason or another. People are just people. But when you have policies in place and you practice those policies that ushers in cultural inclusiveness,
yes, ma'am,
we don't have to worry about anything. And at the end of the day, people just want to be safe and they want to be able to make a living. And the truth of the matter is, Mr. Thornton, this community is far more united than we are divided. And I'm not going to focus on a divide, but what I am going to do is we're going to go forth from a policy perspective where a lot of these issues are concerned. In that way, these decisions will be will be accepted wide and broad far after we are gone. And if they're changed, people will know about it.
Good.
Because we're also going to do away with that policy where it takes 5 people to get an item on the agenda, so that my council will be able to openly serve their districts. Right. And in that openness, the city will see, their districts will see what their goals are and what they have actually been working on. Because right now, it appears as if there's just been a lot of friction and aggravation, because that's how the media spews it. There hasn't been one media outlet, not one. There hasn't been one media outlet to focus on the fact that the legislative process of the city of Savannah has been hijacked. And that, my friend, is at the core of confusion of this council. But the media is more motivated to talk about the confusion as opposed to talk about the issue. So we talk a lot about civility, but we don't talk about the causes of incivility. Well, unless and until we do that, we're not going to solve any problems. So note to everybody, that's going to be the first change that we make. We're going to give agenda access to the entire council. And what people should know, why this is so important and why it's such a big deal, because it doesn't happen anywhere else in the United States of America. You can't find a council anywhere that operates this way. Nowhere.
Okay, ma'am, I'm so glad you came on the show. And as Nick Southey approaches us, I'm saying it to the citizens. We've come a long way as a race of people in Chatham County, because I can go back in the 60s, we had nobody down that town. Nobody. And it just depresses me when we don't move together as a people. And I don't care how many of these things y'all get in the mail, somebody's giving a lot of money somewhere. That's all I got to say. I've been in politics, been working in this community since I was 17 years old, all the political advisors council. We ain't nobody black downtown at all. So don't pay no attention to all of this. I thought you gave us some very good points, ma'am. And as a person, I want to say that I hope the people will listen. You just don't jump up and just do anything. You have to, just like I was telling you about then God's word about what's going on in the Middle East. People just go, that's on them Jews and those. You from the, I've had first place. Some people listen to me and I never listen to the word of God, that God gave those people that land. So I'm saying, I say about this male race, weigh what she said, weigh what anybody else says, and make the judgment of what you think is the best person to move this city forward. Have we been stagnant? Are we tied down to one race of people? Are we serving one race of people to get all the goodies, and we get the crumbs? So I want to congratulate you for being on the show tonight, and it's been a pleasure to talk with you throughout this campaign. And I wish you much luck and success when you get the results Tuesday night.
Well, I know that we will be successful. If I didn't think I could win this race, I wouldn't be in this race. And so
thank you.
Ultimately, I want the citizens of Savannah to know that this has never been personal for me, and it's never been political for me. It's always been about the people. And
thank you.
I ask for your vote and your support. If you have not already early voted, we ask that you go and vote your voice and make Keisha your choice. Good night, Mr.
I like that. I like that.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I have another guest coming on the show here tonight.
See you later, Mr. Bryant.
All right, thank you.
And that is Mr. Bryant. Not only is he a personal friend, he's one of my fraternity brothers. How you doing, brother?
Hey man, I am blessed and highly favored. We're in good spirits, brother. We are in great spirits.
Good.
I just got the phone with Brother Spikes. We're gonna be frying fish over here Tuesday, so make sure you get that information. I send it over to your producer.
Okay, very good. Now I'm happy to have you on the show tonight. You in this district running.
Yeah, man.
You're running for the 5th district representative. Is that correct?
That is correct. That is actually your district.
That's my district. I'm just going to say that is my district.
Yeah,
but I'm in the
Brother Thornton. Check this out. I did not know you knew my good church members, Mac and Audrey Singleton.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
So many people know me, man. So many.
Yeah, man.
I'm still around. If the Lord says so, it's up to him.
That's right.
The days are forfeit. In 16 days, I will be 90 years old.
Thank you, Jesus. And you got it going on, man. I thank God for people like you and Charlie Brown and see what go. Let's talk about this election. What is this election about? It's not just about the future. It's about honoring folks like yourself who built Savannah and Bobby Hill and folks that like Daddy and Prince and Clifford.
Oh yeah.
What bothers me, let's talk about historic stuff. We have things like the old Sidney A. Jones building and historic properties that some of these members of council agreed to get rid of, and they want to get rid of our black neighborhoods. And Brother Thornton, you know this as well as I do because Daddy taught me, you all taught me. We are losing not only our black conversation in the classroom, we are losing our black historic areas, and now they're coming after our neighborhoods. So you grew up in the Savannah where you couldn't go to Owsley Park, could you? You couldn't go to the landings in Georgetown, but now they want to come take what's ours. Take it. Come on with that. We got to protect that. We got to protect that.
Well, let me ask you this. Give me one or two of your main goals that you would like to effect and make change on. There's something that opposite what you think ought to be opposite in the right direction.
Yeah. So I have two different things. I'm an educator by trade, so we have outcomes. So over in 4 years, I want to have certain outcomes, and overarching things are, and I'll give you two arching things, and then I'll give you goals. But the two overarching things that I think are most important for the audience is to understand that we're going to protect our community, and that means from gentrification and developers. We're growing too fast and too quickly without a lot of thought, and that means we are impacting the environment. We're impacting flooding. We're impacting people's lives. We're impacting a whole lot of things without thinking and slowing down. So that's the first thing. The second thing is making sure that what is said out in the open is said behind closed doors and the advocacy matches. What we have now sometimes is, one thing is said here, and then when we get behind closed doors, it's a different conversation. And a lot of people now are finding out surprises, right? So what do I mean by that? Just today, I was in the Hudson Barbershop, and we learned that on Staley Avenue in Tatumville, they will be opening a place where they recycle metals. Well, that's a pollution environmental thing. These people didn't even know about it. Liberty City has a new event space coming up on the side of it. They didn't know about it. Sylvan Terrace will be seeing a new apartment complex come up, be built right across the street. They didn't know about it. So that's a lack of transparency and conversation. And so that's different. Now, the things I want to get accomplished in the first 180 days is what you heard from the 6th-day mayor, from Alderwoman Keisha Gibson Carter. We want to restore agenda access, number one. Number two, we want to reclaim the Weeping Time land by eminent domain. And then number three, we've got to have a real serious conversation and get this fairgrounds piece on board through citizen engagement. And so those are the things we want to get done, and I think are really pressing and in front of us right now. There are much broader issues that we want to accomplish, but the overall goal is, as you heard from the mayor, I think we need to get back to being involved, getting the citizens engaged and involved.
Well, okay, and so those are the main things that in your campaign that you want to achieve. Anything special? Those are the main those are some of the
well, and that's going to be our first 180 days of goals. But overarching is one of the things I've noticed about the 5th district that I've learned since traveling is that people feel they're tired. They're tired of hearing the same old rhetoric. They're tired of the begging for 4 more years, and then 12 years later, what do we have to show for it? In fact, somebody brought it to my attention that even in our district, we don't even have what I call a comprehensive grocery store. What I mean, so like a Publix or a real Kroger's. We have a red and white, but that's only on one section of town, and it's not comprehensive. And then the choices there are not really good. So what are the amenities and services that we have after all this time? And so I think we have a greater opportunity to, one, protect our environment, place value on it, and then resource it through collaborations. And so even the saddest thing I've seen, and I definitely want to have this conversation quickly, is the issue of poverty. I live over here by Highway 17, where we see a number of hotels where we have young children and families in hotels in the middle of a drug-infested area. That's problematic. So poverty is at an all-time high. Matter of fact, the 5th district has the most poverty in the city, with 3 neighborhoods as the most poorest in the county.
Well, I didn't know that. I got to find out.
Oh my God. And that's the reason why right there, Charlie Brown.
You can say what you want to say. We got to get these people out the vote, man. That's why I'm here tonight.
Yeah. We got to get these people out the vote.
I was just giving you compliments, Mr. Brown. And we started with talking about gentlemen like yourself.
Real good. That's a key.
We were talking about gentlemen like yourselves who built this and protecting what you all built. But let me get back to the poverty piece. Chatham, the 5th district has the most poverty in the county. We have 3 of the most impoverished communities, neighborhoods with Camp Park, Fowler Park. What was the third one? Oh goodness, it's slipping my mind. Tatumville, where the average median income is $27,000, but yet it costs $2,000 to get a 1-bedroom apartment.
Sure, that's one of the things I'm going to forgot to ask Miss Keisha. Does the city have authority to impose rent control? It's ridiculous the way it's ridiculous the way they're charging for rent. Pool is going off the rail. A friend of mine was paying $2,000 a month for rent a house.
That's correct.
One friend of mine started for $1,000, and she came up for work one day, and there was a letter in the mailbox, and she opened it. The rent had gone up $200. They're doing what they want to do, and the people in charge of the government doing nothing about it.
They can't put an ordinance or anything in to stop them from doing that, because it is free enterprise. Yeah. But they can also attempt to put a moratorium on, and they can put a moratorium and say you can go up only a certain percentage. They can shoot and research it, because something has to be done. And our job as citizens, we need to vote out the scoundrels who are not doing the good job.
That's what I'm saying.
Are toting water for the wrong crowd of
people. And not caring about the conditions that the people are in. Now, I do remember as a young man now during the 50s, President Truman issued an executive order, rent control all over the nation.
Right. I'm saying they can look at something, do some moratorium or something.
Put a moratorium, do something about it. Say within 6 months you can do this, like that. Just arbitrary with a total base $1,000.
Well, Savannah, Savannah is the second coming of Charleston. And if
Well,
we don't stop the hemorrhaging and change the leadership, Charleston is 92% white. There's nothing wrong with that.
right,
But
right.
I think the people who originated of Charleston should be able to stay in Charleston.
Sure.
I
I don't
agree.
want that to
And-
happen to Savannah. We
And-
need
and-
to vote these people out. You
Yeah.
got Van Johnson
Yeah.
endorsing
Just right
Pat
back.
Rossiter.
But I ain't got to
I'm-
that yet. Don't win with Felicia. That's head is right. I'm gonna get to that
I'm
in a minute.
saying it's crazy
That's crazy.
when she had been up with a voice to the community.
Exactly.
What went on in the city hall, she was there to report it.
Well,
And this man been an educator for
No.
39 years.
Let's just hold up till we get to her.
Charlie, let me say this,
Oh,
y'all.
she gonna
Here's
come
the
on the
problem.
show.
Here's
Let's
the
deal with
problem.
him now.
Here's the problem. Hold on, y'all. Here's the problem. It's funny to me that this mayor says that a lot of the newcomers don't understand city government. I don't think he understands city government. Alicia, Bernetta, and Keisha have been doing a fabulous job of holding the city manager accountable. Hold on a while. Follow me for a minute. What people don't realize is the city manager might run the city and is the CEO, but guess who the board of directors is? The city council.
City council.
And so
Yeah.
the board of directors, he reports to the board of directors, right? And so
Yeah.
guess who the stakeholders are? The residents. So the problem is you got folk that like the person I'm running against that would say, well, the city manager said. No, you tell the city manager what to do.
That's
a matter of
correct.
fact,
Exactly.
one of the things I plan on doing day one is I want the city manager to provide me a list of all of our peer and aspirational cities. And that's how we're going to start doing what I call benchmarking. How do we measure up to these cities? You know,
Robert,
Right.
Robert, I think sometime they get a little confused.
I'm about to
They
get there.
under
Hold
the
on.
impression the city manager
Yeah.
is their boss or manager.
No.
They
Well,
is the other way around.
He got to answer to
My
them.
point is
That's
this. Here's my
correct.
point. Hold on. Here's my point. You got a mayor who don't even understand city manager, city government itself, but been there almost 20 years. So my thing is this: you can't expect people to run a government when they think the mayor their boss, they sit on council, but you vote them back in. And then the thing that scares me, y'all, we got faith leaders around here endorsing these folk, and these folk don't even understand the organizational structure.
That's true.
Robert, you know what's so sad? If you can see what's happening, one candidate raised right at
I
$800,000.
just mentioned about
That
all the
have
money, all
that
the money.
have never happened before in the history of local politics. And I think people ran for state office didn't raise that much money.
No.
So you follow the money and
Exactly.
tell you who you toting water. You as a citizen of Savannah,
paying for it.
you are paying the price because he is looking out for the builders and everyone else, but he's not looking out for you. Look at Geishaden. They still got dirt road. Look at Carver Village. The streets are a total wreck. Look at West Savannah. Look at third world country. And you telling me you vote for Van? Tell me what has he done? Absolutely nothing. If you can tell me, I want to hear it. Show
Yeah.
you out of COVID-19, okay. But he protect all the city. What has he done for you?
That's what
Take a
I'm
look around. $12 million worth of brick on Broughton Street. And you're going to keep this man in office?
Sure
When
is.
John Recycle was in there 20 years, they tell enough is enough. Well, Van been there 20 years and he asking for 4 more. I'm asking the citizen, please open your eyes.
Sure is.
Do not vote this man for another 4 years. And he's a hypocrite. You know why he's a hypocrite? Now he vote for term limit for alderman. Hell, he shouldn't have been running then if term limit. He want 4 more years to make him 24 years? No, I don't think so. My people, Charlie Brown is asking you, please vote Keisha Gibson Carter. Van Johnson got to go. We are making a mistake. If you don't listen to myself and Mr. Thornton now, I'm telling you, you're going to be crying. Remember, I'm just saying it now. This is our
Well, Mr.
opportunity
Brown,
to vote this guy out of office.
let me help him make and I agree with you, but let me help him make it make sense to people. Because a lot of people they hear that and they're averse to it because they feel like it's negative. Let me make sense to folks. These are stories I'm seeing in the street. I went out last night. We were campaigning last night with Rashida till 1 a.m. when you're going down the street and you're seeing people literally being put out of their homes and that stuff on the side of the road, right?
Mhm.
And then I actually have conversations today. We've been campaigning since 10 o'clock, where people have told me, on average, hearing the numbers, their rent has increased by 30%. And here was the lie. I want people to hear me clearly. Here was the lie. Y'all remember that millage rate with Keisha, Alicia, and Bernetta told y'all, if we don't roll that millage rate back, that your property tax will go up. The incumbent and this mayor said, no, they lying. It's the lowest we've had in 35 years.
That's what it said on this
But
down.
it was smoke and mirrors. And so now you're seeing a higher property tax and a higher rent. Now, are you going to trust people, a person who is from New York and just lied to you blatantly? Or are you going to trust three people, three women who grew up and born here who have told you the truth? That's the reality.
It sure is. Now, we can talk about this shit now, right?
Yeah.
Well, Alicia's supposed to be here, so until Mr. Julius cut us off, we can have our discussion.
I fired
Yeah.
Julius. I'm in charge.
Well, Mr. Julius, we can go 30 minutes.
No, okay.
Black Media Network, we have some control. We
Yeah.
run the network. No white man gonna tell us we gotta go off the air.
All right.
We are reporting the truth. It's the eve of election. Election is Tuesday, and we got to inform the people.
Now let me
Don't make the mistake.
Now let me say about this man here, this white man. I would like to understand me very straight. I had the highest respect, like I said last month, for Ms. Jackson and for Mr. Johnson.
Yes.
Mr. Otis Johnson.
Otis Jones.
The highest respect. He broke the barrier for us and at Armstrong College, and I guarantee he wasn't everything sweet. As Jackson worked herself off during the political advisory council. I stood up in my church, but not my church, Christ Church. I'm sorry. I stood up in the church. I go to and praised her and told the people what she did and how effective she was with that political advisory council. But what gets me, when you come and want to endorse a white man over a black woman who speaks out and done a good job on city council. Let me tell you something. Now this thing here, this man's talking about all his top priorities. Well, tell me something. This is what he proposed to do. Tell me something what he has done for the black community. Black people don't even know him.
No, and he's been an educator for 39 years.
If he has, why hasn't he? Wait a minute. If he's been an educator, if I were he, I would say, look, I used to be an educator, and I'm telling you this here, I would never let them take away teaching black history to black children and the children of this country.
He should have stand up for
He
that.
ain't opened his mouth about that.
No,
he
he
used to talk about what do you want to do. Don't tell me what you want to do. Tell me some things you've done for black people.
Hold on,
Black people don't even know it.
That's correct.
You got the white black man pushing the Negro,
That's
pushing him.
correct.
That makes me angry. That really gets to make me angry. Where we fought for civil rights for black people, didn't have an office, couldn't do it. They wasn't even on a board in this city.
That's right.
Wasn't even on a board. I was the first African American chairman of the Board of Public Health, but that was in 92. What about all the years preceding 92?
May I jump in? May I jump in? Let me tell y'all. Let me say. Hold on.
I despise a black person. If unless Ms. Alicia was no good, I told her to sit here last month.
Even if she wasn't, no, and she great people. Even if she wasn't, you don't.
I will vote you out. I'm not gonna put no white man. And I don't know that Ms. Jackson voted this white woman that beat that boy for 162.
Right.
I don't understand her changing like that.
One of the things that concern is that Alethea Blakely have been one of the greatest communicators
in that city
from
council.
City Hall
Sure
in
is.
the history. I've been doing political stuff for 45 years. There have been no other person, no mayor, no one come up and let the people know what's going on.
And then you go turn around and vote.
And all people. And this man say,
Don't know nothing about black
I've
people.
been an educator.
Wait.
He do no education.
Yeah.
I've listened to him
I
talk.
don't give a damn
But
what
he
he
do
knows.
not know how to govern the government when it comes to the other person like
No, we
Alethea
got-
Blakely.
Oh, yeah, but even with that, Brother Brian, even with that, being an educator, I was an educator, but I was out in politics and all that. But I'm just still saying, what has this white man, the average black man person, don't even know who this man is?
No.
Well, let me finish, y'all. Let me say this.
I'll let you speak.
Okay.
This is one of the key things of the playbook of the white man. he'd get a black person, 2 or 3, who's very respected in the black community, who's known and said, get them to endorse him. And because Mr. Johnson endorsed him, he say black folks need to vote for him because Mr. Johnson endorsed him. Heck no.
Mr. Thornton, two things
I
took
can't
place.
stand that. Black.
Two things took place. His father was on city council.
Yeah, I knew it
in
that.
the early days.
That was in the 60s.
Okay, and all of a sudden he feels that he is retired.
Tired of the
What he should do is to go back and be a principal someplace. If that will serve better. I'm saying he do not have the knowledge to be on city council. And tell you number one, what's sad about the whole
I don't like it
situation,
because he's going against a black woman.
what the whole situation is that he made some statement, I guess was pretty profound. He said he's going to get on city council and straighten all those people up and get them to walk the right way and talk the right way. He cannot do that because he's not going to be elected. You're not going to allow that to happen. She is what she is, the greatest communicator ever in the history of the city government downtown.
All right,
we got 10 minutes. We got 10 minutes per the producer. But let me show y'all something. Let me tell you something that irks me about black folk in the city. This guy right here, and y'all too, and Pastor Smalls, and Clifford Hodrick, and Prince, how dare black people go against your elders and listen to Van? You have lost your mind. The people that you see right here, these gentlemen here, and this man right here, and Pastor Smalls, those are your elders. If you sit there and you listen to Van of your elders, you are a pure idiot. And I said it here.
Robert, you see, you know what you got here? You got disrespect to black people. That show you he don't care what the black people think or say. And guess what? He's saying you gonna vote for me. You gonna vote for me. You gonna vote for me. And now I'm telling you, you should vote for him too. Don't you dare let no one put words in your mouth like that.
We only got about 5 minutes more on this show, but I'm gonna give you about 2 minutes to sum up.
No, he don't need no minutes. You and I take the 5 minutes.
Right.
He has talked enough already. Robert, let Mr. Thornton and I close out.
Okay.
You talk enough.
Well,
we got to put the right people in. We got to vote for Alethea Blakely. We got to vote for Robert Bryant in the 5th.
Yes.
Change got to come. I'm saying, I'm asking all the people in Savannah who know me. I stand for the right thing. I want you to get out and vote for Keisha Gibson Carter. She's going to give Savannah back to Savannah.
Yes.
Van have taken the city away from you. Do you know it takes 5 people on city council to get anything on the agenda? That has never happened in this city and nowhere else. This man have taken the government away from you. You can't go down to City Hall at the end of the meeting and speak no more as a citizen. You notice it don't happen no more because he and there's 4 other people vote every single time with him. I ain't got to call their name. They vote every single time. This man got to go. Mr. Thornton is an iconic person. Listen to this man. He's saying Van got to go vote for Keisha Gibson Carter. Please, I'm asking you. Mr. Thornton, thank you for having me on the show. Sorry I'm late. I'm just excited. It's a great Tuesday coming. This man will be voted out of office. Please listen.
Well, I want to take this opportunity to thank Ms. Keisha for coming and Mr. Bryant for coming. Brown. A lot of people. Oh, that is Brian. Sometimes people get the bees mixed up. Sometimes.
Let me show. Watch this. Let me show. And you know these people here. You know these people here, Mr. Brown.
Don't get funny. I'm trying to close.
I'm gonna tell you.
Did you know that was my 4th grade teacher? His mama.
Okay.
And his daddy was my scoutmaster.
All right.
Isn't that interesting?
Yes, very much so.
Pretty powerful.
Well, I hope, like I told Ms. Keisha, I hope you have much success. And
we thank God.
I want the people of Savannah to really get involved in this election because this election locally and election next year is the most critical election in the history of our democracy and our country.
I agree 100%.
So-
and we got to hurry and get off this air because the
Okay.
white man who give us this rental space will soon be coming. And he might have us to leave. And I don't want to start nothing with the white man. And you said the white man is your cousin, right?
So, but I will take the opportunity.
I've been in this house. I gotta be a white man that owns this house. Nice as this house is on the inside.
Boy, this man has something.
Well, I tell you, son.
I want to thank you, Mr. Bryan. I hope you much success
Oh, we appreciate it.
And I want
It's all in
people
God's
to
hands.
down
It's all in
County.
God's hands. Yeah.
to get out and vote.
Tuesday.
We got to get out and vote. So thank you very much, and let us continue to work together as a community, and let's make progress among ourselves as a people.
Charlie, I want to say, Charlie Sampson, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, all your friends tuning in. Please, we got to get out and vote on
Yes,
Tuesday
be a
and
voter.
vote Van Johnson out. Keisha Gibson Carter. I'm telling you, she want to give Savannah back to you. You the citizen. You the citizen. Thank you
very
so
much.
much.
Thank you very much, and have a good evening.
It's been a pleasure. Now the man will be here in a minute, so we gonna hurry. We got to hurry up. The man himself will be here.
Come on, what
Mr.
time?
Owens.
All night long. Come on, what
Oh
time? is it?
yeah, all night
Night
long. Mr. Thornton, it's been an interesting show. I didn't get to see all of it.
I wish you
Um,
did, but you
every
did good. You
time
came
I
on
come, every time I come to this nice house you got here, I know you are an indentured servant to make sure it stays straight for the people who actually own this house. He have a nice house. He have a nice home for a bachelor. He is a widower, but it's a very nice home. And people, please listen. If you're still on the air, listen to this man. This is an iconic figure in the civil rights movement.
That's right.
He is
That's
Claire Zabel.
Sure
And
is.
again, thank you for listening to what we have to say. The
So we
highest
off.
honor you can pay. We off now.
We
The
all-
highest honor
we ain't
you
off.
pay any man or woman when they speak is to listen. And the viewing audience, I'm asking you, I hope you have listened. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night. See you next month. We moved this month on the first Saturday because of the election. We will go back to the second Saturday next month. Thank you.
All right.
Good night.
Y'all have a be blessed.
Be blessed.
Like this. 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 Like this.